Okay, so here we are in the Spears and Munsell UHD benchmarking disk. We are testing the HDR brightness of the Samsung S95B to give it its best shot. Now, we're doing this on firmware, where are we at now? 1303. You guys can see it here in the top right-hand corner. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and pick dynamic mode since everybody loves dynamic mode. Okay, so here we are with dynamic mode, and we're going to test the peak brightness now. Okay, so we're going to start our measurements. And we're at 1,007, and that is on a 1% window stimulus. Now we're at 1,011, so it's at 1,000 nits for the 1% window stimulus. Now we're going to go back here. Do this all in real time so you guys can see, no tricks. Now we're at the 2%. We're at 1,021 on a high. And it dropped down pretty rapidly, and now we're back to 1,010, give or take. So that's where we are for the 2% window stimulus. Okay? So now we're going to go into a 5% window stimulus. And 1,026 is the high. 1,090 now, 1,258, 13, 1,390, 1,394, 96... 95, we're almost there, and we didn't make it. So almost the same 1400 that we had with HDR. We almost have that with dynamic. We didn't quite get there, but it is at 1300, 1386, 1385. So that's great. Okay. So now then we're going to go into the 10% window stimulus. And we're at 1052. 1037, 1035, so I'll call it around 1030, around there. That's probably what you're going to see on this window of peak brightness. Okay, so we're going to go to a 25% window, and 606, 603, 599, 596. It just keeps falling from there. So I'll go ahead and call this one at, like, conservatively 580, 560. That's pretty much what I'll say. But it is holding the 570s, so let's just give it the 570 mark. Okay, so moving on to the next window of peak brightness. 50%. We're at 284, 340. 340 was the high so far. And again, these things are going to go up and down on a variable level, so it's not exact, but it is pretty much what we're seeing so far as an average. And the average right now is around 230, 228 maintained on this window of peak brightness. And the more time that's passing by, the dimmer it gets because of burn-in prevention. So you're not going to really see too much in the way of a benefit in that aspect. So when things go 50% of your screen, they're not going to be very bright, at least in dynamic mode. And we have 243. 242 now, 241. Don't know why I said 12, but yeah, we're in the 200s. Dyslexia, it's a thing. All right, so that's what we have for this window of peak brightness. Now we're going to make our way to our final window, which is the 100% window of peak brightness, and that's at 201, 211 now on a high. So it goes up and down again on a variable level. Okay. I think the standard is actually brighter, so we'll use standard to see like its absolute brightest that it can be. For this window, but it falls off pretty rapidly, just like it did before. So it's not like it just blots off the brightest things ever and then it just stays there. Let's see what we get for this. I'm not seeing anything that's like so dramatically different from what we had before. So I would safely say for HDR, the numbers are what they are, and I like to check against different modes so that when we look into other, content pieces, we don't run into issues where different modes produce vastly different results. But you are getting about the same nit range. Haven't seen it go back up to 1400 or 1300. So it is around the normal modes. It's seemingly hovering around the 1000 area. That's kind of where it is now. But if you use dynamic, you can get as high up into the mid 1300s. That's kind of where it is. So again, I don't know if we can say that's an improvement, considering it was 1,500 nits and then even touched 1,600 nits. So it's definitely been nerfed, and we're proving that with just the HDR alone. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I've already done the SDR testing, and the peak brightness was not high at all. It was still in the 500s. But again, that's something that can't be helped, I guess, because it just really is what it is for this. So this was not really as much of an upgrade as I thought it would be, because SDR actually got lower under 1303. I was hitting around 500 before, and during SDR testing, I got into the 400s on average. It's like 466 on average. So you actually lose brightness with this setting, and that's just unfortunate, but it is what it is. So hopefully this helps you guys out, and you guys can get something out of this. If you like these kinds of videos, smack a like on it, and thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. Until the next video.